Hello, and thank you for listening to Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard. It's good to be back. I've been moving and stuff, so I haven't had time to do the podcast. I've really missed it. Thanks for listening. On this episode of the podcast, I get to sit down with my good buddy, Jay Sinclair. Jay Sinclair and I worked together pushing Backline back in the day. He was integral in starting the New Black Center for Music and Art. He plays in a band called Belvedere. They have a new record coming out soon, and they're touring South America. And we talk about that stuff and all his other bands and wild stuff he has going on. So, as always, thank you very much for listening. All right. We are finally back. It's been a long goddamn time, over a month. I am here this evening with my friend Jay Sinclair. Say hello, Jay.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
And Nancy.
Is it hot? Am I running hot?
Hi, guys.
So you don't have to be that close.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
There's a sock. I had the sock barrier, so I thought with the beer cozy set up here, I'd be safe. So
Yeah. They kill some pops. This podcast was brought to you by me, Big Nate Productions. Go to bignateproductions.com and listen to this shit and buy my shit and sell my shit. Guess what? My band's going to California tomorrow. I'll probably be there by the time you hear this. But check out Kyoctys, Kyokttys. We're playing Legion of Steel Metal Fest and Conference on Friday, October 23rd, 2015. And we're mighty excited. This podcast is also brought to you by Right Hook Mics. Right Hook Mics, microphones.com. That's our guests are speaking through them. They're awesome. PE55.
this is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
This is clear microphones.
Even with the beer koozie over them, they sound clear. So go to righthookmics.com. There's a bunch of different styles. He just put out a wacky studio condenser mic, and it's super cheap, and I want to try it out really bad. So send me one, Big James. With that being said, I'd like to officially welcome Jay to the podcast. How you doing, Jay?
Good, man.
Good. We should let's tell everybody who you are really quick. You're the bass player in Belvedere.
That's it's something I do, absolutely.
Yeah. What else do you do?
I dabble in a few other bands. I have a noise project called Clitty Litter, which is actually my current favorite right now. That's some good stuff. And then I also play a couple of variances of different instruments in the hockey fight.
Oh, nice.
And I've done some other things too.
Cool. Yeah, you produce records and stuff too.
I've produced records. I used to run a studio at New Black.
The New Black. Yeah, cool.
Worked at the New Black for a long time.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, you were like kind of a founder there, or?
Yeah, it's me, Darren. Actually started as a record label.
Cool.
We used to drink together a lot. Used to be my roommates. We're just like, fuck it, let's start a label. Let's put out a band. Like we had this silly band that had a bunch of songs, and
yeah, cool,
awesome. And it extrapolated from there.
Yeah, totally.
We've known to use that word, extrapolated. So I'm sorry to cut you off, man. But it's a
huge word for this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you can throw it in there. It's, extrapolated.
We've known each other a long time. We did some cool shit together.
We did.
We did Monsters of Rock together.
We did. We fired a guy at Monsters of Rock. If that guy's listening, I'm just like, what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Come on.
He deserved it.
Yeah, you fucked up. You fucked up. Helps to the best of us. Yeah,
he got fired out of the band then too.
What's
next
that?
day, we fired him from the band the next day too.
Oh Jesus, I didn't know that.
No wonder
the kid was so messed up.
Oh
I'm
man,
like, wow, you're really taking this hard, man. You worked here for like 2 days. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah. Jay and I did backline at Monsters of Rock.
We backlined the shit.
Yeah,
that fucking stage, man. We had it dialed.
Fuck, it was nuts. That was a really. So what was that? 07 or 08? I can't remember.
July 08.
July 08. I thought it was 07, but yeah,
I was in the audience.
Oh yeah, no sweet.
So that was like
good memory.
They were trying the Ozfest, basically trying out Ozfest in Canada. Ozzy headline and Judas Priest and Fuck
Zach
you.
Wilde called me a faggot, I think.
He called you a faggot?
Yeah, at
He
some
called me
point.
brother.
I know, but the only reason that I didn't get called more than that is because you were hanging out with him. That's the only reason I got to talk to him. Like, all the other band, I was like the drummer, like, everybody else, and, like, all the Judas Priest guys, and everyone I met was, like, super cool, and Zach White, every time I walked by, he's just like, nah, no, that guy's not having it. And I'm just, like, this scrawny little kid with, like, a fucking emo haircut and, like, a fucking couple shitty tattoos, and he's just, like, walking around, like, get your gear over here, man. Hey, Zach, hey, are your stocks okay here? And then Nate's fucking standing there with him later on, and they're just, like, drinking O'Doul's. And I walk over, and he's just, like... I can't even remember what he said to you guys. Like, hey, man, have you met Zach? He's just like, oh, hey, you shake like a fag or something like that. I'm like, it's just been a long day of doing this. You know, right now I'm doing like two dicks are in the air. I'm pretending they're spraying cum all over my head. You know, that kind of motion.
Fluffing.
Yeah. And he stared me down and then started laughing and said I was all right and patted me on the back. And if Nate had been there and been my bro, like I would have fucking just trampled me. It was awesome.
Yeah, I almost had him to the slaughterhouse, but he quit drinking. That's what was weird about
Well,
him.
no, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
He wasn't
couldn't
allowed?
drink. Yeah, he wasn't allowed because Ozzy was doing a dry tour of that tour.
Oh, yeah.
So that
Fuck.
tour, he's like, and remember, fucking, Sharon was fucking running around. Like I only saw her a couple of times, and every time it was terrifying. And she was like, and she wouldn't let anybody smoke. There's no smoking weed on stage. No. There's no drinking. Like it had to be like dry because Ozzy wasn't even smoking weed. Wasn't doing anything.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's why the guy got fired though. Because we told him, it was like, you're only here as a fucking runner, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's smoking weed with the Sepultura dudes trying to be fucking hanging out, trying to be cool. And we're all working, loading shit out. And
Yeah, he had the easiest fucking job all day, too. All he had to do was go pick them up.
And he got sprayed with foam, so he didn't even get to finish the doobie with the guys either. Don't you remember that? Because he's smoking on the side of the stage and fucking...
I was watching Ozzy out front. I came back and you were freaking out.
Oh, yeah, dude. I thought you were there.
What the fuck's up with this guy? Fuck!
Yeah, and we had to fire him as Judas Priest walked by. Like, oh, mate, bummer, dude. Yeah. All right, there, cheerio. Have a good night.
Fuck.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you were going livid, as you should have been. It was total.
I mean, that was like
basically
that was warning like fucking 12 though, man. I mean,
for sure.
Like we were really being hard asses at the fucking metal concert. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, get your P's and Q's together, gal.
Yeah. Basically, for the listeners, for me, the Monsters of Rock gig, like I worked for a long time at where we were working, KLM, we can say it, I guess.
Which is a sweet backline company.
Yeah, if you need backline, you're on tour.
That's a good plug.
Hit it up. And, that was my thing with Mike is I was like, man, like, please put me on Monsters of Rock, please,
dude,
please, please. So with him, like it's like he said, so I got my buddy in there because he obviously wanted to work.
He picked up fucking the Cavalier brothers. From fucking,
and so I vouched for him, and I was like, "Fuck no, it's all good. It'll be all good. It'll work out." So sure enough, he gets the call. Like it was like 7 a.m. I had to call him and be like, "Hey, bro, are you ready? Check this one out. Go to the airport, pick up Cavalier Conspiracy and all their gear." And come down and you get a free VIP pass. You don't have to do anything else.
And the only thing you can't do while being here
is hang out backstage and smoke weed.
You can't be on stage smoking weed
in a company shirt
for no reason. Yeah, like you just can't be there. Don't be there. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem, bro. No problem.
And then he'd go to the VIP
That's
beer
the
tent.
First thing he did,
and probably slam like 4 beers in a row because he was the only guy not standing in line.
I'll give the guy a lot of balls. He's got a lot of balls.
And then so I don't know. I guess he felt entitled because he knew the Cavalier boys now, so he could just hang. He was like part of their crew or something. Like I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But anyways, we had to can him because it was like fucking he fucked up too many times. So whatever.
Yeah, no,
good times.
That was a.
Besides that,
I told that story a few times. It's a good one.
Besides that, it's like
it was an epic day.
It was the epic 2 days. Fuck, it was unreal. Like the whole setup and like fuck the way they covered the grass. Even they covered in that crazy thick like neoprene, whatever the.
Do you remember how bad it was? Well, we shouldn't be talking about that maybe, but like that. Let's just say the logistics at that show was a little.
I remember Shadows Fall come off stage.
Oh man, there's
And
some
they're
interesting
like
things that happen.
They're like dying, and I'm like, "What happened, man?" To that dude with the super long dreads.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck, man! For the first song, like we have 2 kick drums, right? But only one was in the monitor, and we couldn't figure out which one." And it was like, "Fuck!"
It's like Michael J. Fox and the drums all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
No.
Isn't
But it's
it-
funny. Funny's funny.
Yeah. Oh, isn't tomorrow Back to the Future Day?
Yes, it is.
At what is it? 4:29.
Oh, I don't know the exact time.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
what it. 4:29 p.m.
I wish you had that.
That's
You
when they
should-
came back
When
to
you
the
edit
future.
this, you should put that fucking like that little chimey fucking Back to the Future sound.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. If he doesn't do it, complain. Everybody write in
Yeah.
to the site.
Oh man, I might get some traffic then. Maybe another person would listen if people started writing.
Oh man, a lot of people. You just got to say more offensive things.
Another crazy thing that happened at Monsters of Rock. I mean, fuck, it was just so nuts for me. We show up the day of the show. So the first day was set up, and then the second. Remember that the keyboards? They lost all Ozzy's keyboards.
Yep, that's how I got the signed. That's how I got that set list. So I got a set list that was signed by Ozzy. You remember that, the one with
No.
the keyboard guy.
Oh.
So remember we got the keyboard, the little fatty.
Don Harry.
Yeah, and he didn't. He had his patch list. And at the end, when we were packing up after the first day,
Yeah.
he gave me that piece of paper. And at the end, after they
Oh.
played the second day, when we were loading out, I gave it to him again and asked him if he could get anybody to sign it. And he came back and he has Ozzy signed, and I have it at my house.
Fuck,
Like in my
wild.
collection. Like that's one of my prized ones. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. But yeah,
Yep.
so this guy,
Sorry.
British Airways, loses all his fucking keyboards flying out to Calgary. And fucking, so we're like, fortunately, the backline company we work for, I mean, you know, Mike was a keyboard player. Like,
You couldn't
like,
ask for a better backline
Oh,
company or
fuck.
backline guy for that situation.
Yeah,
'Cause they
man.
literally, it's like, do you guys have a Farfisa? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have an original, Moog Evolver? Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, we got one. Yeah.
Yeah, we got B3s and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
What? Yeah.
Do you have
So-
original 120s? Yeah, we got Leslie. No problem.
So then something happened with, I remember too, so we bring all these keyboards in, like it's all this big, like emergency fucking go to the shop and shit.
Yep.
And then we bring him in, and like his floppy disk didn't work anymore. He had some floppy disk with all his presets on it,
Yeah,
or
'cause
some
he had
shit
a
like
Core
that.
M1 or something like that to fucking load them all. I can't remember what
And so
it
he
was.
had to sit there and fucking program everything by hand, and it was so, I felt so bad for him. It was so painful. And then the next day, I remember this was a highlight. Like, we're pushing out that whole intense fucking like keyboard thing.
Yep.
And
I remember
the like stage hands, like, fuck, man, it's like, settle down, Bronk and Buck, you know?
I know,
It's
man. They're like,
he's like weefing on.
Let's go!
I've got like a foot on one triple tier keyboard stand and fucking 2 arms on the other ones. Just like, you know, they don't realize what's got into this to get to this fucking point. If they all go now,
Did you ever feel like Willy Wonka and they're just like a little Oompa Loompas?
totally
Just because of your size ratio? Because you're
Well.
like huge and everybody else is like tiny. It's all these little white hard hats. It's like...
I don't see the world like that, Jay, though. But
Moving
thanks
the
for-
keyboards is something we do. What do you get when you knock over a mic? Everybody yells and you don't like a fight. And everybody don't care.
Jesus Christ. So that was awesome. And then remember Serge Tankian came out and all those like pink polka dot bullshit, and they had
Hawaiian
all
shirts.
this dumb
Yeah.
shit, like a stand-up grand piano with a keyboard in it, and fuck, just all this weird dumb shit. Serge was funny, and that watching those, like, because the festival itself had a stage manager and then Ozzy had a stage manager, and man, I just followed those guys around like a fucking lost puppy. Like, they were so fucking on it and
They were
organized.
but they were so nice that you can know, and then nothing against the Canadian crews because I mean, but like if you can get and then a lot of times they're the same crews, but like pop country, like top 40 country crews and metal crews often like swap their touring guys.
Yeah.
And those guys are so nice.
Yeah,
and like
right.
they've learned it's just like, oh, okay, to get results out of people that may not be your first pick of guys.
Right.
It's not to be like, fucking LA, man.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you, what the fuck's wrong
Yeah.
with you? You guys don't have fucking linery? It's fucking bullshit.
Dude, like, nobody wants...
Throwing their weight, their weight. Again, I'm doing quotations on the mic, but yeah.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to work with fucking Axl Rose, right? Like that shit's like way
but I mean,
dead.
the crew guys though, it's the crew, like they're backstage guys, they're backline guys, they're front of house.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
like those are the guys that I've seen like since that time that have the longevity in the business that like can have skill but can also.
And typically, like a lot of them are from the southern states, so I don't know what that says. It's a lot of them are like, y'all, all good, man. Y'all ready to do some game? It'll be no problem, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna set up. We're gonna make it real good. You go here. I'm gonna give you this. This is how we do things here, man.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's just very, very smooth and at least all the of all the bigger productions I've been a part of, there's been a very similar theme there.
I need my tent, Chris. I need my tent. I need my tent.
Go for Chris. Go for Chris. At this point, this is fucking unacceptable. You know. There's no tents out here. If it starts raining right now, our gear's fucked, Chris. Our gear's fucked.
$350,000 board. You know,
yeah, 50. Yep. Yeah, it's gone. Yep. You know, at this point of the day, it's fucking unacceptable.
I remember
me and Nate are sitting in a fucking field where that like, you know, where there's like when you on Crowchild Trail or coming up to Crowchild Trail, coming to university, and there's that little half square.
Yeah.
Little building there with all the spray paint. We're sitting in that, smoking weed and listening on the radios. These guys just getting chewed out, just fucking laughing our asses off.
You know, refer to the contract. Like, you know, because and it's a good thing because on Saturday it fucking poured at like what? I don't know, 6 o'clock or something like that. It fucking
the skies opened up and it got pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I mean, if they wouldn't have had that fucking tent, everything would have been fucked. There, you know, that shit was supposed to be on site when he showed up, right? You know, like that's why the guy was so on him. It's like, where is it? Where? Like, I need it. Yeah, that's why I ordered it. You know,
I remember going up to I won't say his name, but a person of high merit in the production who I know quite well, and I wanted to ask him about. I can't even remember what the charge was. It's like I was going to ask him about what kind of money or. I was going to tell him I had to charge him for something we had to do that was extra and above the contract that we did. Right. And sort of said like, who's gonna take care of it? I didn't even get a word out of my mouth. Just like, hey, da da da, and he's like, hey Joe, what's up? It's like, so it's about fucking money. I want to fucking hear about it. Jesus fucking Christ! It just keeps walking away. And then later came up to me and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. But I mean, it was just like, it was one of those days, man.
Yeah, well,
like,
I'm sure those guys.
I'm glad I was not working for production at that.
I mean, those fucking guys working, when you're talking upper echelons like this, I mean, they make them put performance bonds and all this shit, which is like, if you don't do certain things, you owe us $250,000, you know?
And again, otherwise, all the Calgary crews are fucking awesome, too. They're people we worked with for many years, and they're all awesome. So, I mean, I don't want to sound like...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. You know, I mean, I think a lot of
at
that.
At some point, at some higher up level, the lines that get crossed, and the people who are working often pay for it. So I don't want to say anything against.
Well, and that was such a fucking massive production. I mean, we don't get those every day here, where you're doing 16,000 fucking people at McMahon Stadium.
That was intense, though, when Hatebreed was playing, and they're fucking getting the standing on stage, looking out in the audience, and seeing all the people with the fucking white T-shirts.
Fuck yeah, and the double fisting. Oh my god,
fucking crazy.
That was fucking crazy. I think there's a picture of me, and I'm just like, like jaw dropped, fucking watching, like standing on the side of the stage. Yeah, no, that was a fucking that. Like, just in following those guys around and you know, well, I mean, and doing other various production work and whatnot, but that got me the job with Noctis, being stage manager, because, like, I had heard she had some kind of technical issues at Noctis 1, and I just sent her this very, very honest message on Facebook saying, like, I think I could help, and, you know, this is why, and this is what I've done. And she was like, come on down. So, because we kind of knew each other, but not very well. So I was like, I can cover all your technical stuff. So that's what I ended up doing, was being stage manager, production manager. So, you know, interfacing with all the production companies and all this shit. And
I have a rule that you can always tell how well a production crew is, or how well a production is going in terms of a festival or just a one-off show or a larger scale production, by the amount of radios. So if you see a ton of radios, like everyone's got radios, it's a fucking shitty production crew.
That was the first year.
Yeah, because everyone is like, yeah, go, yeah, and they're always, because everyone wants to be important. Everyone wants to look cool with the radio. You don't want to be the guy with the hard hat with fucking steel toe boots on and fucking moving shit around. You want to be the cool person with the fucking radio. So everybody wants a radio.
Yeah,
but when you get up to higher production levels, people realize that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Just text them.
And the people that actually are important typically don't have radios, and if they do, they're very seldomly on them.
Yeah,
it's not a status thing; it's a requirement. It's something they actually need because their job requires it, rather than like, "Go for Jay, yeah, how's everything over there? Still the same? Okay, all right, cool. Okay, go for Jay, go for that. Yeah, how's everything over there? Oh, it's still the same? Okay, cool, man. Goodbye."
Fuck, that's all that was. Just bullshit
dude.
chatter that didn't get anywhere.
Man, and nothing happened, and there's nothing happening. There's just like 6 people watching a band, and fucking nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, you over there? What's going on over there? 6 people watching the fucking band, man. Same thing it was 5 minutes ago. Okay, cool. Just keep me posted. Yeah, all right. Go, blah, blah,
blah. Man, when Zach Wilde threw that guitar in the crowd, that was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, apparently there was a fight.
He kept playing, right? He kept playing. Well, at the end, it was uncomfortable. Like, he kept going.
Well, they threw him another one right away. Like, he had... And then...
Well, I'm pretty sure he can afford another guitar.
Yeah, dude, I heard... I don't know. I mean, I heard this through the grapevine, but... Like, there was like a 2-hour fight for that guitar. Like, basically all of Ozzy's set. He did that on the second song.
So people fought over this?
Yeah, he threw it right in the crowd, man. And then, so, like, he does this thing. He, like, fakes that it's broken. And then he's like, what the fuck? And then he fakes yelling at his techs. And then he fucking hucked it in the crowd. And it was like a fucking battle. I was in there. I saw it. It happened right by me. And then... I
would destroy it. It would be so funny just to go up and just fucking destroy it. So everyone's running for it, and you're like, yeah! You get to it, and you're like, fuck!
Yeah,
like,
no doubt.
Smashing it, and it's like, that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're all running up for, right?
I mean, I heard that it survived, and then...
Because it's going to get fucked up no matter
Zach
what.
Wilde's goons walked up to this kid after and said, that's ours.
Oh, that's...
I heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I mean, I don't know why they do that over like a $200
I bet
guitar.
okay, this is what I bet happened. I bet everything you said is true. I bet 2 big guys walked up to the kid that had that guitar and said, yeah, we're with Zach Wilde. That's our fucking guitar. And I have no doubt the kid gave it to him, but not for a second do I believe that actually was Zach Wilde's guys. I think Zach Wilde just went and fucked some fucking
they might have been
stripper in the fucking backstage room after. I don't think he gives a fuck about the guitar. Just like, give me another fucking guitar. Who else you got?
Yeah.
Who else you got? Exactly. Give me their fucking guitar.
Yeah. That KLM job was fun. I worked with a lot of cool bands. Like, I remember...
That's where we met. That's where I met... Well, I didn't meet Amos there, but that's where I fucking got to know Amos.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mike Little. And, well, Mike Little we knew from before, but Mike Watson.
Right, yeah, Mike
Steve
Watson.
Fretcher. Oh, Mr. Fretcher.
I saw him the other day.
One of the raddest dudes ever.
I do Mocking Shadows gigs all the time.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he did one in Rocky Mountain House this week. It's pretty awesome.
Good player. Guy's a fucking
Fuck, that band is good, man. That band is really
Steve
fucking
Fletcher's
good.
a crazy player.
Yeah, they had a sub for this show, but yeah, he brings the Leslie in the whole bit every time.
Yep.
Everybody whines about it.
But he's not the thing about Steve that's awesome is that he's not a dick about it. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
He's great. Like, he's fucking phenomenally talented, but he's just like, he's like, hey man, yeah, I don't know, this one's pretty cool. Want to get a beer after, man? Or, like, it's just like, ain't no thing. It's great.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, and he must have learned, like, I've never seen Mike Little play, but I heard him test out a B3 at the shop one day.
Oh, it's retarded.
And it was the craziest B3 experience I've ever had in my life.
He's ridiculous.
He's like the Michael Jordan of that shit, man.
Yeah, he's
like,
ridiculously good. That's why he plays with all the big boys. That's why he's so in demand. He's a great fucking player. Super nice dude.
I didn't even know what a good player was before I saw that.
Yeah.
It was like,
Hugo from KLM's fucking incredible too.
Oh yeah,
crazy good piano player.
But does he know? Like, I noticed Mike is the B3 dork.
Yeah, like
he knows all that drawbar shit and all this.
Guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fucking cool. So how did you? Because I for people that don't know, I've been the sound guy at Dickens for like 4 years now, but before that, you were.
Yeah.
You actually hooked me up with that job, so thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
But how did you get into that?
Doing sound?
At Dickens in particular.
Oh, Dickens? Dickens,
Who was before you?
Mike McLeod.
Oh,
From Mad
okay.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
Who's
right.
also a good tech, and he just didn't want to do it anymore. And
Yeah.
I can't remember I think he went back to school or some issue or something like that.
Yeah,
And
right.
I was doing stuff at New Black already, and Isaac was booking at both Dickens and New Black, and he kind of said, "Hey, like, we need a sound guy. Do you want to do both gigs? And
Cool.
can you do both gigs?" And I said, "Yep." So that's kind of how I got into it, and thought I could do a little bit more for the room, and considering the rig they had, so
Yeah, right.
tried to clean it up and get more thing. And you guys got the sweet board though after I left, which is fucking
Yeah.
rad for you, but shitty for me.
Yeah, well,
I had to use
there
that
was no
Mackie
choice.
Onyx fucking bull. Wow.
Yeah, I used
I
that.
don't want to say it. I want to fuck. All right, it's bullshit. It's
Yeah,
fucking, I don't
it's
fucking care. It's
total
fucking bullshit.
It's Chinese bullshit,
It's
man.
bullshit. It ain't the same anymore. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
don't fucking care.
You put one German component in that, it'd sound way better.
That particular one was fucking bullshit, and it sounded like
Well, it
shit.
fucking just straight up died one day.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It would sag on one left output, like, and it would be super
Right.
like unbalanced. All of a sudden, you touch the fader, and it would fucking be super hot on the left, and then half the volume on the right.
yeah,
Tons of shit that didn't make sense.
and just colored to fuck, like really hard to. I mean, you know, you can get anything, but
Yep.
when you're fighting the board and like fighting all the, you know, like that's why the good shit's so good because it's so like kind of transparent, right? The stuff you do does something and all this stuff, right?
It's funny though. It's just like even with that $10,000 board, there's an unnamed sound guy who still managed to fuck it up though.
Oh.
And he's a good tech man. He's a good tech too. He's not a bad dude. He knows his shit.
I think you might have read too many magazines. That's
Yeah,
my theory.
Yeah, but you know that shit happens. But
I mean, not there's anything wrong
That
with
fucking like, that,
more technical manuals.
Oh man, I'll tell you though, there's no worse feeling than fucking I can.
Oh yeah,
I've never
bet.
fucked up that bad,
Me
but
neither.
like I've been in similar stuff. Where I'm like, motherfucker, when you know it's you, and you're just like, and you're just panic mode, and your heart starts going. You're like, God, Jesus Christ, I gotta fucking fix this bullshit now.
Yeah, I've only fucked up that bad on my own gear.
The most of my experiences are playing in bands, like at big shows.
Yeah,
You know, like when something goes wrong at an important moment when you're playing your band, you're just like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
yeah, right.
That kind of
yeah,
shit. Like, it's
yeah.
that same kind of feeling, right? When you
Oh,
know
man.
you fucked up and you know you shouldn't have done it and you fucking shit's fucked up.
Dude, the other night at Dickens, it was what was that guy's name from Lord of the Rings?
That was
Billy
B-Cake,
Billy. Fuck, I can't remember his
Are you
name.
guys having a stroke right now?
What was his character on Lord of the Rings, Nancy? Do you recall? Bilbo Baggins, right?
Bilbo Baggins?
Oh, Pippin. He was
Who's
Pippin.
Which guy's Pippin?
My researcher will look it up. Billy something. Anyways, he has a band called B-Cake,
Oh, okay.
and they played Dickens a couple weeks ago, and it was fucking hilarious. Like, I had him dialed. Okay, it was awesome. We got to do a good sound check. It was cool. And then like 3 or 4 songs in, he goes, "You know, we don't usually do this. Well, you know, we don't usually do this, but."
You know, we don't. Foster's beer. Like it's went right Australian in like 2 words. You know, oh, crikey, I've got a knife. Foster's beer.
Billy Boyd. There you go, Billy Boyd.
What does he look like? Let me see him. Oh, that fucking guy.
But
That guy's
he
in a
was
band?
Yeah, and they were decent.
What, does he play the lute?
No, guitar player,
Not
singer.
one of those little flutes or something, like piccolo flute?
But he says to me on stage, he goes, "Man, it sounds so good on stage right now. We don't usually do this, but we're going to do this like 4-part vocal song, you know, that we never do live." And so they're like 2/3 of the way through it. Everything's going fucking fantastic. And then,
Board dice.
no,
Oh, shit.
an SM58, the world standard in microphones. You could throw this, you could drive over this with a truck and it would probably still work. You could throw it at
I
a
have done
wall.
that before.
You could throw it at a wall; it would probably still work. I mean, people throw them on the ground all the time, right? Fucking, it was not the cable. Because I checked the cable, it was the goddamn 58 shit the bed on the third guy, on the backup singer, like 2/3 of the way through. So and everybody's like, fuck, and then I just ended up muting the guy, right? Because it was like, fuck, crackly and all this like super quiet, dynamic song and shit.
Oh, weird.
And so after we go and switch out the mic and everything's fine, and it was for the rest of the show. And of course, right after he's like, how did he put it? He was like,
you really know how to fuck a hobbit, motherfucker. Yo, just because I'm a hobbit, you want to fuck me like that?
Yeah.
What the fuck's your deal, motherfucker?
It was like, that's karma,
With
isn't
an
it?
English accent, of course. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Like he says something to the effect of, that's karma, or instant karma, right? It was funny.
Hobbits don't really understand karma, so it's okay.
It was just funny though, like, because I hate getting praise.
Oh,
I hate it when people are like, give it up for the sound guy. Like, fuck.
That is an
fuck about the sound
That
guy.
is an awkward moment. I felt that too, man. It's like, let's give it up to, and especially if they get their name wrong too. It's like, let's give it up to James for the fucking sound guy. And it's like, fucking James is pretty sweet, man.
Look at me go.
Give it up to Jake.
So, do you want to talk about the new black at all? We talked about it with Darren a bit.
Yeah, well, you can talk about that.
How did it, so you were saying earlier,
we
a bunch of drinking buddies got together
we
one
just-
night and started
me
a label?
And Darren, we started a band that became a label because we wanted to put out our own shit, and then the guys who were funding the record to be done expressed interest in us not only putting out the record, sorry, but actually doing a sort of like clubhouse and multidisciplinary center. And I had, through touring with Belvedere, I'd seen a lot of these similar type places in Holland and Belgium and in France that are multidisciplinary centers that have they're youth centers basically. They have studio rooms, they have jam spaces, they have rehearsal spaces or larger rehearsal spaces and like venues, little cafes, but they're like cultural hubs for these cities, and I thought that was a kind of a cool concept and an essential part of like a kind of progressing scenes and whatnot, especially giving kids a place to go. And
Yeah.
the amount of shit. And to be honest, and I'm sure Darren would say the same thing, like we started that place to be like, the original idea was going to be like a party place.
Oh, yeah.
Like we wanted to do a multidisciplinary center that we could have all ages shows, but we also wanted a place that could be licensed so we could do private parties and, sort of more
Right.
more like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in the movie when they first meet the Foot and then they go to the place, they
And
hang
Vanilla
out.
Ice is playing?
What's that?
And Vanilla Ice is playing?
No, that's the second one. But the first one, when you first meet the Foot and
Goddamn.
they're recruiting kids, and then like the place, the clubhouse, which is like this, it's got like skateboard half pipes and video
Yeah,
games,
right,
and
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
drinking and hanging out. Like that was the vision of what we would be New Black. They would also do all ages shows. And as we progressed, we lost investors and got new investors and changed stuff up, and other people came and got involved. And we decided that, it's obvious that the all ages scene doesn't have any, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's an important part. It's an important part of our like, I wouldn't have anything without the all ages scene. I wouldn't have a band. I wouldn't have got into the band I got into. I wouldn't have gone all the places I've gone.
Right.
Got to do all the things I got to do without that scene. Like, and it's very important. So, or at least to me. And,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we just decided to go forward with more of like as a non-profit and as a, an all ages center, and it, had a studio. I ran the studio there. I did sound a lot of the shows.
Right.
Kind of handled all the logistics of like the technical specs and
Right, yeah.
built the place with Darren, and
Cool.
me and him were really from the get go the two guys. So
Yeah, cool.
I did leave after about 3 years, and for shitty circumstances, which I'm not going to drag all over your show, but we had one guy that was involved with us that turned out to have a few issues and caused me to leave, and then other people left because of it too, and I think everybody knows the story there, but it was I did come back at the end, and it was kind of bittersweet but nice to to see it kind of close out. And
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
yeah, it was a cool place, man. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up things that happened there, and a lot of cool shit, and a lot of good memories, a lot of shitty
Cool.
memories. I think we couldn't have managed it worse. Like,
Okay, hold on. I want to take a quick break. We'll start with that.
All right.
We'll be right back. We're back. So,
And we're back.
Would you like to expound on the poor management of the New Black?
Well, I mean,
just what you were talking about.
The common theme is that all of us started that place with the best of intentions, and me and Darren had to, we wanted to make something cool. We wanted to make something that we could hang out, that could develop our bands, that we could do all these. We had a great vision for it, but what it came down to was, because of a lot of issues with other people that were involved in it and other owners of the place outside of me and Darren, it made it difficult because everybody's egos got involved and everybody wanted to be the owner. Everybody wanted to be, I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. Why did this? Why do that? Why I put in this money? So I put in this money. And it was like a tit for tat petty,
right.
And we were, everything just got fucked up. Like that sort of confounded every decision, I think. Some of us more than others.
Right.
And,
as well as,
if
I could just interrupt real
quick.
I bet, like Darren was talking about on a couple of podcasts ago, you guys were trying to get money and they weren't really, you weren't going to the right parties or whatever, right? It just wasn't coming like it should have.
Yeah, and I mean, that whole side of it, I mean, if you're talking about funding, is it's a who game in Calgary, and if it's, the conditions are very different now than when we started that place, when we were looking for funding, especially when we went nonprofit. In terms of what happened shortly after we started, or even the years following with Menchie being elected and different representatives and MLAs being elected downtown, and a lot easier. They made it, like, we set a precedent by having I can't say enough for Joe Cece and John Caracarlo, who actually who was the Inglewood Community Association president, who me and Darren went for a lunch meeting with, and met all these people from Arts Calgary and different movers and shakers, so to speak.
Right. And
we went out for lunch with them, and I invited them all. I'm like, well, you guys are here, so let's go to do you want to check out the space? So I brought them in, and we looked at everything, and after that, because of those interactions, they kind of went to bat for us. When we, when people try to shut us down, or when right. We had problems with the fucking bitch that lived downstairs who didn't want to, who hated everything and didn't want to have kids there, and she was just a renter, and it's really, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't really her fault. The guys should have never rented a club above another tenant.
Oh man,
knowing exactly what we were doing, and
So check this one out. Here's one I've had to deal with since you left at Dickens. The
upstairs fuckers.
The hair extension guy upstairs,
I've heard
man.
It's gotten worse, man.
What in the right fuck is even going on there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like this guy moves in with a hair extension, like hair accessory.
You gotta extend that fucking hair, man.
And I know it's so important that you're open till 9 o'clock.
Dude, you got
every single night too.
I need my weave, motherfucker.
Yeah, totally. And I see it happening. I see these chicks walking out with huge bags of shit. Like, it's like payday, and they got to go get their weave.
Like the fucking, the rich white trash fucking oil field wife that pulls up in her fucking Escalade, like dented Escalade, and she's like, oh my fucking god, I need the fucking hair. That's bullshit.
But because of that, I can't make noise. It's like a hard rule. You can't make any fucking noise till 9. Yeah. I mean, now this is kind of cool because I don't have to show up till 8.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that, actually. Because what are you really doing before 9 anyways?
Just go patch some cables and fucking let it run.
That's right. That takes me 20, 25 minutes if I've had 10, which I never do at Dickens. But that's another hard rule. Who got that rule put in? Was there the 2-drink rule when you were there, too?
For sound guys?
Yeah. Oh, fuck, see? What the fuck?
You're kidding, right?
I am not fucking kidding.
Oh, dude, that's weak, man. I get the logic, and I mean, 2 beers for me, like, I probably wouldn't drink more than two or 3 pints in a shift at Dickens. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm
same here.
I weigh $1.60 at best, right?
I know. I'm like 320. I
figure
for every 100
beers.
pounds,
You'd be like 6 beers. I'm being serious though.
But a beer for every 100 pounds, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
so
well,
if I get up to 4, then
if I can drink 3 pints and be fine to work the shift, I mean,
you know what? I was really mad about it for a long time because now I've found out too that they instituted that with me.
So this is your fault?
No. I I thought somebody else fucked
Your
this
face
up.
is awesome there.
No, it was just
Hey, man. Hey, no, hey, oh.
that's what they told
Hey,
me. No, Amber right away first day was like 2 and maybe 1 after. Like it was just like.
No, wait a minute.
Don't want to hang out here. You can't have more than 2 on shift.
Is
Fine. I'm fine with that.
Is it because of intoxication, you think? Or
Yes.
Or was it because
Apparently, that's it was explained to me that there were past sound guys, and not you. I don't think they didn't mention you because they know I know you, so they probably would
I
have.
don't give a fuck, man.
But
There's
guys. She's like, "Fuck! I rang up this one guy who had 8 fucking pints on shift." Well, like
Okay,
come on.
that's
you
not
can't
me.
fucking mix.
I wouldn't even be able to fucking see straight after 8 pints.
No,
man.
8 pints
I'd
of going
fucking
out to
look
the
at them
bar.
Tiny. That would kill. I would be dead. I'd be dead. I'd be a dead man.
For sure. But anyways, I don't know. Why did we get off on that again? Sorry.
You're talking about Dickens. How we got to Dickens. Blah
Yeah,
blah.
how
blah,
did
blah.
we
Yeah.
get to Texas?
Yeah, that's the.
We were
the drugs,
somewhere in
man.
the New Black.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the drugs.
Yeah, drugs.
Drugs
Yeah.
are setting in, man.
Yeah,
You smoke that fucking hashish, that's what you get.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about your bands. What do you want to talk? Should we talk about? Let's end on Belvedere. How does that sound?
Well, Clitty Litter is pretty rad. My wife hates it.
It's a great name. I mean, the name is.
You know what's fucking awesome, and I'm glad that we didn't trademark or anything, but I'm glad we have a YouTube channel and there's videos up and there's a presence already on the line.
Right.
Because on South Park this season, it was like the second episode. It's
Uh-huh.
like Cartman said it. And he's just like, well, or somebody referenced like, well, Cartman got in trouble for calling fucking.
Why? Yeah, I
so-and-so
remember
Yeah,
that.
Clitty Litter.
Clitty, yeah.
And
You guys
we
had the
that
name before that?
fucking like
That's where I've heard it
years
before.
that. Years and years before that.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
So we played a show. Well, it was like this night owl does this thing called Rockin' for Dollars. And you can basically, if you have more than 2 people in your band, you can go up and do whatever you want on stage. And
Yeah, right.
for Clitty Litter, that's like a free pass to be fucking assholes. And we just had a tremendous performance that night. I dressed up as Cthulhu. And I have a large Cthulhu mask. I paid a lot of money for it, which is pretty rad. And we just stared at the audience for about 3.5 minutes without doing anything. Which is pretty rad too. It was pretty funny.
Building dramatic.
Yeah, and we I was kind of disappointed because and I know this sounds stupid. I'm not trying to be pretentious. I'm not like, well, really, your concept is fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, I just want to fucking piss people off. I want to make the worst sounds possible.
It sounds like it would piss me off.
The thing that's just the most awful sounds ever.
Mark
has
Mark, who's your bandmate, Mark.
Yep.
Well, good old Mark. Ole Mark.
Fly shaker.
Okay, cool. He's some of the stuff I've heard him write is really annoying. So I could see it. And no offense to any, and I'm not talking about his bands. I'm talking about that. Like we were talking about that mixtape he put out when he was like 6 or whatever. I was listening to that the other day. It drove me up the wall. That to me is like Clitty Litter. Is that what Clitty Litter is?
No, Clitty Litter's fucking awful, man. It's just, but it's okay. Here's the thing.
No offense, Mark. I'm sure he's taking that as a compliment if he's listening.
Do you know when you have like, how am I going to describe this without being gross? It's like everything's shitty for a long time. Like, so you're like, okay,
like Mersbow?
Okay, I got it. You're constipated. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, I can relate. I can relate to this.
You're sweating.
Yeah,
on the toilet. You've been there. You're just like, this is fucking painful.
Yeah.
You know.
Am I puking?
You know it's going to be brutal, and it's just like you have this awful sinking feel in your stomach. This like in between where you're just about to fucking push something out, and you're just on the fucking crest, and it fucking hurts, and it sucks, but just right after it fucking all comes out, and you have that little and it's just. And then everything just and you just feel awesome because it's gone, like you've purged the internal demon. That's what we try to do on stage every night. So we make it awful, 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 and there's like one brief moment that may or may not syncopate for a second and be slightly musical.
So is
resolve.
there so there is no musicality or rhythm?
No, dude.
Okay.
I mean,
see, I knew it.
Yeah, I mean it's just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just try to make the most uncomfortable.
Are you
sounds.
guys like going to tour in Japan or?
No, we could though. I think
Yeah.
I think we'd be huge in Japan, bro.
It would be really
Fucking huge.
You should take a transcript of how you just described the band and make that your bio. Get a stenographer to transcribe it.
And do like Japanese. It's like
In Japanese too. Yeah.
hard pool.
Jesus Christ, that's funny, man.
Oh,
So
yeah.
okay, how
So
many shows have you done?
I think that was the third in 10 years.
Clitty litter?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We're really picking up steam, though, let me tell you.
Yeah. You guys been together that long? No.
No, 7 years. To be fair, yeah. Started when we both worked at Music Center, and
Oh, seriously?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
Way
pulling
back
my
when.
leg.
No. We he was a drum teacher there, and I was working sales and selling fucking shitty guitars. And he came out one day, and he had this tiny little we started talking about bands. He really liked Faith No More and like All and Descendants and all these bands that I was really into, and we had a kinship instantly. And he picked up the shittiest fucking guitars there all the time, and would just fucking plug them into the shittiest amps and turn all the effects and everything on and just make. And he had no idea what he was doing, but his technique was phenomenal. Like his right hand was like he was fucking killing it. Like it sounded like he was doing shit. But he's like the Kerry King of our fucking store. It's just like, oh, you want to hear a solo? I don't fucking need to play keys, man. You just don't get it. Just fuck so rad. Look how fucking shitty this is. Anyway, and instantly I liked it, and I was just like, that's awesome. We should start a band. He's like, well, what do you want the band to do? And I'm like, well, let's just go and see what happens. And all we did is make noise the first time, and I recorded the whole thing, and that became Act 1. We're now on 7 years later on Act 9 with 3 or 4 scenes for each act.
Wild.
And it's just some of the shit's like really listenable, like it's like soundscape shit for like horror movies, I guess is a good way to think about it.
So
and other shit's like unlistenable, where it's just like I don't ever want to hear it again. I'm glad I made it, but I never want to fucking hear it again.
If I ever have to pull up that file again.
Oh, dude, yeah. Give me some straight clitty.
Straight clitty in the house.
Would be the illest of the clitties.
Fuck. You threw me off there. God damn it.
Man. The clitty litter will do that.
Fuck.
It takes you out of your comfort zone. Just saying its name. It's like he could not be named. Clitty litter. Clitty litter.
Have you guys recorded?
There we go.
Is that with the K?
Have you guys
or
recorded?
C?
Oh, yeah, we have 10 recordings. There are acts 1 through 9.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to say now.
Oh, okay.
So it must be like, it sounds like, I haven't seen you guys live yet, but like because of the Cthulhu mask and the axe and stuff like this, that you're going theatrical a little bit with this.
No, we're completely serious.
No. I mean, but
Clearly you don't understand.
I'm just trying to get an idea because I've never seen
the one
it.
and true God, the Overlord.
Oh, it busts
The Beast
out
of
into
Beasts.
Jesus color,
Yeah.
Jesus Technicolor Dreamcoat
Yeah.
at the end. No, I'm just wondering, is there like a stage show going on and all this shit while you guys are doing all this wild shit, or what's going? Are you the Slipknot of noise, or what's happening here?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I never really thought about it like that, but we're really the Slipknot of noise.
Yeah.
It's more
I'll be
like
your
the
percussionist.
Alice Cooper of noise, right? No, we don't actually think about it. I literally told him probably an hour before we were playing the show. I'm like, hey, I'm bringing this cape and this mask, so do what you want.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
Usually you're just just.
I just want things that make people fucking feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Fair
enough.
enough.
I don't want to get nude or anything like that. I don't want to make them that uncomfortable. I just want to make them generally uncomfortable.
Yeah, I dig that.
Not, liably uncomfortable.
I saw Merzbow and it disturbed me.
You saw who?
Merzbow?
Merzbow?
It's like a famous Japanese noise guy.
Not that famous.
Okay.
I've never heard of him.
Look him up. He'll have Look him up. He'll have like 12 hits. Biggest deal in
It's
Tokyo.
really controversial in the fact that he has no fans.
All I know is I paid $20 to see him at the Palomino one night.
Yeah?
And it was so funny, man. He's got this huge, like, double DJ table set up of just, like, pedals, and there's a mixer in there, and fucking weird, all tape machines, and da-da-da, and all this weird synth
cool.
shit, and, like, yeah, no, I mean, like, I was kind of, it is fucking neat, right? but like on his mixer, it was just like pinned at like minus 0.1, like just ramming the yellow, like just licking the bottom of that red, and that's exactly what it sounded like. Like it was just, but he'd work all this weird shit into it, and I mean it was interesting because I'm told
ups and downs and ins and outs. It's not just all. Totally. There is a dynamic range to it, I guess. But,
yeah, like I could see, if I was that kid that grew up in Japan playing, weird video games or something, I'd be like, wow, this is amazing. But no, fair enough. I didn't grow up that guy.
Drop nukes on people, man.
Yeah, dude, America.
No, it's not. I'm not like pro nuke or anything like that, or even pro fucking Hiroshima.
Mersbow.
Oh, vegan straight edge noise project.
Why does the vegan have to be there? Like, how does your
But
diet...
doesn't he have a leather jacket?
Why does the diet have... What does the diet have anything to do with the act? I have nothing against vegans.
He's wearing a leather jacket in that picture. Right?
I'm sure it's pleather.
It's a hoodie.
Man.
Oh, it's a hoodie? Okay. I could be wrong.
How does that denote the music, though?
No, well, yeah, no, absolutely.
Just like
what's... Yeah.
Episcopalian hardcore, bro.
Yeah. What kind of tea does he like? Yeah. Earl Grey drinking. Only smokes the Kush.
Yo, you play that vegan shit, man? We only do straight kosher fucking emo hardcore.
Well, people have writing degrees. They got to use them.
I guess so. That's what Yelp is for.
Oh, man, you should be able to Yelp review. There we go. Yelp can replace teachers.
Yeah. Why teach when you can Yelp?
It's like some kid hands in a paper and everybody just shits on it. And
yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man.
Paper's fucking D. Cool. So, anything else about Clitty Litter? You guys going on world tour anytime soon?
No world tours, but...
can we play some?
Is it on the internet?
Yeah.
Is there some somewhere? Yeah?
Look it up on YouTube. You'll Clitty Litter.
All right, we're going to play a Clitty Litter song. We'll be right back. was Clitty Litter. I'm scared. How did you guys put my thoughts on tape?
See? Right? That's what I'm saying.
That's what happens when I wake up. In 1 second, all those sounds.
I explain it to my wife. It's just like I have to. In every other band I've ever been in, any other musical project, it's all structured. It's all intervals and melodious and harmonious and
Fair enough.
and all that crap.
Yeah.
This is just allows you to just do the opposite of that, where you just literally just do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
There's nothing contrived, nothing thought out, just literally whatever you want.
It's like jazzier than jazz.
It's jazz.
It's so improv. It's like a little mic spill while you were taking a leak there.
Mike spill. Oh, SM7 can handle it, man.
Yeah, well, and then I lost the see. I can't have nice things, Jay. I can't have nice things. I'm not allowed to.
You're just you're a whole lot of Nate.
Yeah, I take up too much space for this little tiny
that's
bus.
the thing.
That's for sure.
So,
Okay.
yeah, Clitty Litter's that thing. And I mean, I also play in the band. It's a great band called the Hockey Fight, which I've been lucky to join.
Oh, cool.
Play different instruments.
Is there a hockey fight song you want to hear? We'll throw that one
No, we
in
don't have
too.
anything recorded. So.
No? Oh, okay. Crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
Who's all in the band?
Well, right now, I think I am...
Rotating members?
Yeah,
It's a duo.
I don't know. Well, sometimes it is. That's the crazy part. Last week I was playing drums. This week I'm playing guitar. And Sean Hamilton's playing drums. BJ Downey's singing, playing guitar. And I'm playing guitar. Did I say that already? I think I did. Yeah. And our buddy Eric's playing bass.
Okay.
Yeah. So who knows? That might change next week. We'll see what happens.
No, that's cool. How long's Hockey Fight been rolling?
The band's been around, I think, 10 years. And which is crazy. I know. I wish I had something to play you guys. And if BJ ever listens to this is why I say we need to record.
Oh yeah,
These are the situations
BigNateProductions.com. Upsell.
Yeah, Big Nate Productions.
I'll come record you live.
Oh, there you go.
I'll do it.
Look at that. We can make this happen.
You're already married, right? I'd do your wedding if you weren't married.
Yeah, well, yeah. We can marry you again. Dark vows.
Awesome.
The band's been good at 10 years. There's 2 incantations of the band. There's one that's out west here, and there's another one out east because BJ's from New Brunswick. And we met him. He used to put on Belvedere shows and did a show in his basement at his farm out in New Brunswick, which was pretty sweet when the venue bailed out. And it was actually a really good show. And, when he moved to Calgary, we stayed in contact, and he's got different lineup changes of Calgary bands, too. Holy smokes. And it's a cool band. It kind of sounds like, I don't know if you're a fan of like the Ramones or the Buzzcocks or any of that kind of stuff, or the Queers or any of that kind of like pop punk stuff. It's
like older pop punk,
Screeching Weasel, that kind of stuff.
Fucking awesome. So let's talk about the band that bought you the pool in your backyard.
Oh, you got the kiddie pool. Filled with fucking sludge.
Isn't that what everybody thinks? Like that's
sometimes, until I see you working at Long McQuaid, and you're like, oh, dude, what happened? I thought you were doing really good, man. It's like, yeah, man. What are you talking about? No.
You're just not a night guy.
I am not. What do you mean, a night guy?
Well, I mean, isn't that why you kind of stopped working at Dickens?
Yeah, I hate working at night.
Yeah, like you'd rather be doing like at least I mean, if not at
men
least
of a certain age like to have their night times free to talk politic and wax poetic with their wives and drink sherry.
Fair enough, man. I'm closing in quickly here.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like, I did sound for a long fucking time, and the whole reason I started doing sound was because when Belvedere was on tour, like sometimes it would sound like shit, and there would be a sound guy, and I'm like, I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
And like I did recordings when I was younger in high school and stuff, and knew the basics of everything, and I was like, I gotta figure out live sound. I gotta figure out what these things do. And as Belvedere started touring with bigger bands, I just shadowed their sound guys of the bigger bands because I was more interested in a lot of the times with hanging out with them than some of the other guys in the band, Or trying to be the sound guy and sort of looking what he was
Whoa.
doing. So, well, I wanted to learn. I mean, there's an opportunity there to learn from guys who are
Right.
professionals in their field or touring
Yeah.
sound guys. And
If you can be doubling up, like, you know,
Yeah,
doing
and-
the band thing and then learning too.
yeah, and then
that's
learning
fucking
too.
crazy.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I used a lot of that and then fucking trial and error and figured it out and
Yeah,
never went
totally.
to school for anything and just, yeah. So I at a certain point, though, it is, you got to like the hours of doing
Yeah.
production, backline, sound, front of house, anything. You have to like doing those weird fucking late night hours and being out all hours of the night and be okay with that.
Yes.
And your family has to be okay with that too.
Yes.
And I'm not okay with that.
Right.
I wanted to work days. I wanted to work fucking have
Yeah.
a normal job.
Exactly.
And I mean, working in a music store by no means is a normal job by any means. But
Right.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, at least you can
it's
still
a
be
fucking a
involved.
steady thing. It's you know
Yeah.
I get off at 6:00 most days, and it's pretty
Right.
casual. And I go home and
Yeah.
can still do things, still have a life, still jam, record,
Yeah,
go out.
it's
see
not like
my
you're
wife,
working
walk my
12
dog, I don't know, like.
It's not like you're working, 12-hour office shifts for some oil company making triple the money, but hating your life every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're doing what you want to do and doing what you like and being, like secure as a person. That's worth a lot, like.
Well, the cool thing about the company, and I mean, I don't mean like, oh, fucking working for a corporation and fucking awesome, but the company I work for, like, you have to be a musician to work there.
Yeah.
And in doing that, they kind of understand when things.
Is that why
you
they
have
have
to
the
do things.
1967 DOS system for their computer system?
Hey, it's actually a Linux-based system. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Name me another system that can run 62 stores and fucking
No,
65
that's
stores.
pretty
You know what I
well.
mean?
Yeah. It's
an
like an auto
mission.
parts. Like, you see that at the auto parts places, too. They're still rolling with that shit. Because it's like...
When I started there, I was like, you're joking, right? Like, who do we write
Yeah.
about this? Can we get
Yeah.
some, can we
I'm
get some
starting a
Can we
petition.
get some Macs in here and some AIMSy or some sort of, like, advanced program? Like, like, the fuck is this shit? Yeah, and then you eventually realize, no, it's a good gig, man.
Yeah,
It allows me to tour with Belvedere when I can, too, which is rad. And
Right,
and
yeah,
that's
see,
the
that
benefit of going to a
flexibility.
place that hires musicians, is that in doing so, you have to understand that they're going to play, they're going to need time off, there's going to be a certain amount of flexibility that has to go with that, so.
You can't axe these guys because they're going
No.
to do their dream thing.
Yeah, exactly.
This looks like a
Fucking
great
nice.
tour you guys are going on in February.
Yeah,
With
Brazil?
Flag Wagon?
Yeah.
What?
Argentina, Chile,
Yeah.
Peru,
Holy
Colombia.
Yeah, that's
shit.
coming up down the pipe.
Nice, good producer points, Nancy. Way to look that one up. Okay, so I need this because we should say this right now.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah, we can talk about
Belvedere is going on tour with it's called the We Are One tour with Lagwagon. Belvedere's direct support. Is that what I'm seeing
that.
there?
That is correct.
Holy fuck. Mute and Adrenalized. Are they local? No? They're big? I don't know. Sorry.
Mute is from Quebec City.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
probably, I think, the biggest punk band in Quebec, or like one of the biggest in Canada. And
Okay.
actually in the world, I would argue, too. Adrenalized is from Spain. They're fucking awesome. They're like fast, technical, like thrash. Yeah. It's going to be a great tour.
What is it? 8 dates? 9 dates? And
9
fucking-
dates, and then we have a couple days off in there, so I think we're gone for a couple weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia. Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
man.
it's a good one.
Those fucking border guys are going to... They just crawl up your ass every time you come
Well, I
back
try
from
not to have
Bogota.
anything up my ass, so it's not so much going into Bogota, my friend. It's
Coming
more
back, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Going into Canada, you're going to get looked in your ass.
I know, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's
Like,
like-
did they...
Funny story. First time in Belvedere back in, I think it was like 2003 or 4. Went to South America. We went to Colombia, which nobody was doing at the time. It was very different politically, or political time there than it is now, right? Like, It
Right.
wasn't really that safe to go there, and we did it anyway. We played 4 shows in Colombia and did Venezuela, Dominican Republic, and Ecuador. And it was sketchy, I guess, at best.
Fuck, you told me these stories in the truck at KLM, and I was like...
Yeah.
I remember being like, I would never do that unless I had, like, an armed detail of guys with fucking Uzis, like 10 of them.
But we would go into these countries and they'd be like, oh, you know you're in Colombia, right? And we're like, it's like, yeah, no, we know.
And you're white.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
like,
that, right?
What are you guys doing here? Oh, we're gonna play some gigs, like shows. okay. It's like,
So no airplanes, no.
Anyway, it was sketchy. We had some. I'm not going to dive into all the experiences that happened. It was fucked up. We Ecuador and Venezuela. Let me just say the first thing about Colombia. It's a great country now, but at the time, when you're coming back to Caracas, in the height of Chavez's fucking like political turmoil, when they're burning effigies in the street and there's protests, and the club that you're supposed to play got firebombs, so you have to play a smaller club.
Whoa.
The week before, but you're like, thank God we're back in Caracas. Whew.
Fuck.
That's one of those tours. We got back from that though, when we got into Canada, and first thing the border guard looked at me, he's just like, oh, welcome, yeah, where were you guys doing? Oh, we were on tour. Oh, where'd you guys go? Dominican Republic, and then shot down to Caracas for a bit. Took a little layover in Medellin for a couple days and shot up to Bogota. Down to Guayaquil, back up to Medellin again, back up to Bogota, back up to Caracas, and then back up to Miami.
That coincides with their high drug city list.
It's like, oh, really? Can you step into this room? Yeah, oh, sure, yeah. Are you going to lube up first? Or no? Oh, no. I actually don't remember how bad it was. We did get all our gear searched. I know I got my bag searched. Someone got their butt searched, but I don't remember who it was. It wasn't me on that trip. There was other trips I came back.
Must have found blow.
We didn't find nothing. They didn't find fucking shit, man.
Buddy got his butt searched?
Dude,
You get a butt search with no blow found?
One of the worst experiences I've ever had was at the American border when we were taking a flight back. We were on tour in Holland. Or not Holland in general, but we ended our tour in Holland.
Right.
So I bet I probably stunk a little bit like weed, and because I literally smoked the rest of my weed, got on the plane, and then fucking flew back to the States. Yeah. Didn't have anything on me or anything like that. Border guard stopped me. I asked him, and it's like, hey, man, I'm transferring flights. I just need to know, do I need this card or this card? And he's like, fucking starts grilling me and like asking me about my cocaine drug record and trying to trap me in a web of lies, so I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, holy, and then like, it's one of those moments where I seriously thought I was on candid camera. I'm like, nobody's this dumb. And I'm like, dude, I don't have a cocaine drug. And he's like, tell me about, you think how long I've been doing this job? Tell me about your fucking drug record. Tell me about your fucking, getting super aggressive. I'm like, so I start panicking. I'm like, okay, like a month ago, I got an illegal right-hand turn ticket. And he's just like, what? I don't want to hear about that shit. Stop toying with me. And I'm like, stop fucking toying with me. And I gave him my passport. I'm like, I have a fucking drug record. Go for it, man. Knock yourself out.
Look it up.
Passport.
Yeah.
And I got torn apart. And as I was getting drawn into the office, the fucking guy was taking me in to do a full search, strip search and all that. They grabbed Scott, because I looked at him and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, he's with you. Get him too. And they grabbed Scott. And Scott was just like, what the fuck? They grilled us, strip searched us, did the whole thing. We didn't have drugs on us. We didn't have anything.
The Americans.
Canadians would do it too, man.
No, I know Canadians will do it too. They did it to my grandparents.
Oh,
how's that?
That's rough.
Yeah. Not strip search. But, tear them out of the car and tear their car apart. Fuck, Grandpa's like, I fought in World War II. Anyways, continue, sorry. So,
the whole point of this whole tangent here is that after the South America tour, my passport had stamps from all these countries on it.
Right.
And when we got back into Canada and went through the States in Miami, because we had the transfer flights from Miami back into Canada, we gave our passports. There was some guy that came up and talked to us with a fucking suit on and fucking looked at our passports after we got it. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought he was another passport guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. We're coming out for South America. We were expecting to get grilled.
Yeah.
And they went and took our passports, came back, and like, all right, see you guys later. And I didn't think anything of it. So Belvedere breaks up in 2005. Okay. Me and my wife start dating.
Who took your passports again?
This dude in a suit. With a fucking an American, he had a badge, a security border guard, but it was fucked.
Okay.
In retrospect, it fucked. At the time, it seemed, I don't know how to explain it, it seemed totally normal. There was a bunch of them kind of standing there.
Right.
They were Homeland Security. So I didn't know that at the time. So Belvedere breaks up 2005 or takes a break or whatever. Me and my wife meet, and shortly after, start dating. 2006, 2007, we're going to go fly to Victoria. Not even
to Victoria
in Canada.
Wild.
At the airport, we're held up. What's the problem? Well, your passport, your name and I had my passport as my ID at the time too, because I lost my license expired or some shit. I had to use my passport.
Okay.
Your passport's been flagged by Homeland Security. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm in Calgary.
Yeah. That's
And they're
America,
like,
isn't
no,
it?
but if you're flying into airspace, I'm like, no, I'm going to Victoria. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I actually got pretty agitated and didn't understand. Like, it's totally normal. You just have to go through extra screening and all this. And I'm like, and I thought back, and I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. And it was like years later, I'm like, oh yeah, that dude in the suit who took our fucking passports coming back from South America way, way, way back when, probably flagged all our passports saying, all right, we're not finding any drugs on them. We searched, look through the bags, x-rayed everything, can't find anything, but we're going to flag it. So anytime they try to do anything in the future, fly anywhere on any airline using that passport number, you're going to be fucked. Is that fucked up?
That is fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, here's kind of a crazy...
And that's the least fucked up thing happened from South America.
Right.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the blow yet. But,
yeah. We were all mules. It was a crazy time. No, sorry. Did 4 years in Bogota. Between 2005 and 2000. That's why we broke up.
$6 million of cocaine.
Everybody just turns into Tony Montana.
Man, a lot of narco.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. No, cool. Well, I mean, that's...
Yeah, we got a tour coming up. We got a new album coming out soon. So...
And you recently got signed to a new label, right?
Yeah, well...
not a new label, but you
I'm
recently
not
got
quite
signed
sure
to a
if we're
label.
not allowed to talk about that yet. But
fair enough.
There's a label that we're super excited that we've been talking to that looks like things are going to work out. So
Sorry. I can edit
that's
that
okay,
out.
man. That is okay. Yeah. But it's going to come out on a label, and we're very excited about it. So
cool.
Yeah, and,
awesome.
It's going to be rad.
Fucking A. Have you're just in the demo stage right now, or?
We're done the demo stage, and we're getting into the tracking stage.
Oh, you are recording?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's going to be done fairly quick, so we're
and where you were telling me the other day, where are you recording again?
We're going to be recording it. Our drummer, Casey Lewis, has a studio called Echo Bass, so we're going to be tracking it there. And then it's going to
Has Casey always been in Belvedere?
Casey's not always been in Belvedere. Casey's a newest addition to Belvedere.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, he came in after a while when Graham, just with his family and
Fair
other commitments, just didn't want to, sort of wasn't into it anymore, and we got Casey after that, and that was like a year and a half ago.
Right.
So we started writing new material right away with Casey and recording and demoing and stuff. So
cool.
It's been pretty sweet.
Awesome. How many records has Belvedere put out?
Oh, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Because we have an EP.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Since first one was when?
1998.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, the band's
you guys have toured. How many times have you toured Europe?
9.
Nice.
Whoa.
8, something like that.
And then how many South America?
This will be our 3rd South American tour.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Have you gone over to like Japan, Asia?
Japan twice.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, it's been pretty
nice.
Cool. U.S. a ton of times.
And, yeah, cool. Yeah. Like Warp Tour?
Yeah, we did Warp Tour. 1999, we did 3 or 4 dates on it. 2000, we did a bunch of dates. I think it was like 2.5, 3 weeks on it. And then we played every year after that, at least 3 or 4 dates until like 2005 when we broke up. So like 6-7 years in a row.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, we had some crazy times on those tours too, man. It's fucking Warp Tours.
And you guys sold a butt ton of records and shit too, right? Back when people were selling records?
It's the irony is like back then it wasn't really a lot, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot for a local Calgary band, I guess, to sell, to go then to so many places worldwide and sell that many records was kind of not really commonplace for a Calgary band, at least a Calgary punk band.
Right.
But now, comparatively, because nobody's selling records, if you look at the actual physical sales of what we sold back then,
it
would almost be considered gold now because of how the scale has changed.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
When Katy Perry's selling 80,000 copies of a record.
Yeah, yeah.
Not 8 million.
Yeah.
It's a huge dramatic change because of digital download. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, it's like I had a few beers and it's like digital download. It's digital downloads, bro. They ruined everything.
Don't get all Lars on me, man. Don't get all Lars on me.
Digital downloads.
Have you been buying art?
Buying art? It's fucking digital downloads. I can't buy any fucking more art.
Yeah. No,
I used to play tennis.
I mean, I hate the control, the brutal Nazi Gestapo-style control that the old record business had for 30 or 40 years there, but at the same time, at least it was engaging. At least it was like, I don't know, at least there was art getting out. I mean,
one of the best times to be a musician.
Yeah, no,
and here's the thing, because I'm not talking about people who have gotten used to the model of like, I'm going to get signed by a label, I'm going to get funded, they're going to pay for all my shit, I'm going to pay them back with my crazy amount of record sales because I'm going to have one single that's going to hit, and that whole lottery you get into.
Yeah,
I hate that bullshit. I hate that fucking boys club. I hate fucking...
Fair enough.
You know, it's like high school, who you know, fucking... Like, but I love the fact that you can do it yourself. I fucking love it.
Me too, and that's why it's like that shit, that old boys club shit got so extreme back in the day.
Dude, I remember...
That now it's like whipping back the other way.
I remember being on Warped Tour the first couple times, and it was like, you would get catering for the bands, right?
Yeah.
So you go to fucking production, get your catering, get your... You walk in a line with your tray. It's literally like being in fucking high school or jail. Like one of the two. Like you're looking to see who you can sit with, who you can affiliate with, who you can do it. And it's like, am I cool enough to sit with Rancid? No, I'm definitely not. Well, I'm cool enough to sit with this band. And it's just like, and everyone's looking at it. And it's such a fucking bullshit.
Like prison.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like jail or high school. It's like, and I remember... and it's pretty funny. I remember being on the second time we did Warped Tour. It was in 2000 when we did a whole bunch of dates. I remember always just being like, people would fuck with me. It was like being teased, like being the new kid in high school when you're like,
yeah, right. There's
you know
that whole
I mean?
hazing.
And that one was when punk rock was like selling so many records. So these fucking mediocre bands were selling tons of records in the States and getting on these tours and thinking they're fucking shit. Yeah. And getting tons of tattoos and intimidating the shit out of everybody because they're just like, oh, I don't know if I'm cool enough to be, you know, like, instead of just being inclusive and nice and normal.
Right, like it is now.
So I remember,
it generally is now, right? Like
now
everybody's
by
cool,
myself
right?
all the time. Oh, sorry.
No, it's good.
And one of the guys from Anti-Flag were super, super cool. And I remember one of the guys, like Chris, came down and sat down and was like, hey, man, what's your band? Blah, blah, blah. And was like really down to earth. Mm-hmm. There's another time when I started eating breakfast with these two guys, and at the time I didn't recognize them, and one of the guys from our label walked by one time, he was on the tour with us at the time, and he just like, walks up, he's like, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, I don't know, good man, just having breakfast. I thought these two guys were working production. I didn't know who they were. And it was Hank Williams Jr.
Whoa.
Or the third, or Hank Williams the third.
Oh yeah.
And Mike Vallely, who had a huge beard at the time, and I didn't recognize right away, and he just have a hoodie on with his beard, and we ended up talking one day, drinking coffee, and we ended up sitting together for every morning, because we got up at the same time, kind of early, every morning of the tour, and I didn't know who these guys were, and they were super nice and super normal. I'm like, okay, well, there are normal people here, like, you don't have to act like a fucking pompous jackass to fit into this bullshit scene.
Yeah.
You know? And it's funny that punk rock, like the Warped Tour days and all, like the golden Warped Tour days, you know, whatever you want to call it, people look back at that as being so rad, but I look at back and being shitty because it was like the echelon of mediocrity. You know what I mean? Like it was the most mediocre bands were able to get popular and attitudes about themselves, and it's like you couldn't have felt smaller being a new band going into that scene at that point,
right?
As opposed to how it is now. Right.
Or maybe as it was in the past too, where it's just like this. We are all actually dirtbags.
You're trying to work up to this fucking in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the original punk. You know, like say whatever. You know, the old guys like 70s, 80s punk. They were all eating shit and fucking. They were all poor.
Anybody who looks at the fucking like
there was no sales.
That late 2000s, like there's some great music that came out and there's some great bands, but there's a whole lot of bullshit and posturing that was in that time. It was so easy to get swept up in it, and it's fucking... I'm glad things are kind of different now.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying with, like, that weird... I mean, that's what I mean.
Everybody wanted to get signed. Everybody was obsessed with getting signed to a major.
And it's like, they would do it. Like, during that time, like, the 90s and the 2000s, well, not, you know, early, they would do it just to shelf you.
Yeah.
Like, because... and they did that a lot.
Tons, man.
That's what I'm saying about that consolidation. Like the music industry, like the upper echelons of it.
Tapping the talent.
Like
man.
the
Tapping the
70s
talent.
to the fuck, you got Steely Dan. These guys never even toured, all this shit. They're just.
Oh, don't talk shit about Steely Dan.
No, I'm not. It's fucking.
Hey,
but they're
hey,
studio musicians.
Careful.
No, it's fine. I
fucking love Steely Dan.
That's great. I mean, come on. But
No.
they could just survive off selling records. They never
Absolutely.
went on tour once.
They
And
did some
that was
tours.
because there is like. So
To be
you're
fair,
a
they
label.
did do some tours. I'm sorry. They did do some tours.
Did they play?
They also
Can
won
we-
a Grammy
Yeah,
and did a
Steely
ton
Dan?
of touring.
Steely
after.
Dan, they toured later?
They played here in
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah.
retarded. But they didn't tour in the 70s.
They didn't. They need. Okay, let's just say
Like,
Steely
they
Dan
toured
was
in the
was a
fucking
band
casinos
of
now.
Great players, of session players. They were writing great music.
That's my
It was
point.
never intended. They were
It's a
recording-
studio
It was a
band.
recording project.
Yes, recording
They
project.
could also play live in different incantations, but it was never the same.
Like,
There's
I'm not
so
gonna
many
say-
different players on those albums.
I'm not going to
so
say
many.
you can't pull that off now, because you could totally pull that off now.
It's easier
But
now.
you can't pull it off to the degree they did when they had that much power. Like, that's why everybody's like has no problem saying fuck you to the music business, because it's like they had so much power in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, sort of 2000s. That's the golden age of all of humanity's existence.
I had a
They had
Yeah.
an iron fist on it. So my point is that so these guys had this much of the pie, these guys had this much of the pie, and then now you break up those little pieces of the pie into smaller pieces, and that's what they would do is they would put their money into the smartest, and they still do with pop stars and blah 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 and all this, and that's how it works really.
They're
But-
playing a lottery with your life.
Right. I like that
Yeah.
concept you were saying about the lottery. Like, it really is like, it's a lottery for them, too, from their point of view.
Absolutely.
It's like, is this
If you
fucker
hit-
going to catch on?
But if
Is it
you
going to
if you
hit or
come up with
not?
something, and the other thing is they can switch you over to publishing and get you writing for other people and still fucking make money off you. And that's what happened to a lot of those bands.
Right.
A lot of those bands that got in bed with the majors couldn't pay back their loans, so they fucking ended up working for them and fucking writing songs and going to publishing and writing for
Holy
other artists. Like, it's
fuck,
just,
eh?
I think this is an exciting time to be a musician. I mean,
It is,
It's
it
funny
is.
when Belvedere was talking about doing a new record. I mean, there was a lot of talk of like, why do we even need to seek out a label?
Yeah.
Is there a point to that? Like, why would we do that? We could just do this ourselves. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see what the reasoning is anymore. It doesn't matter anymore, which is fucking awesome. Like, that's a truly powerful position. But if you're one of those people who have an entitlement because you think you're fucking awesome because you're a musician, and you think that you're entitled to some sort of lifestyle and some
Yeah.
sort of fame and some sort of accolades,
Yeah.
because
Which was
you
the
fucking
old
make-
days.
Which
it was like,
and is that the old idea, right?
Yeah.
It's still perpetuated. Like,
if you got signed, you were high on the hog. You're
Country
fucking hookers
music-
and blow and the whole fucking bullshit.
top 40 country
Magazines.
music is the last bastion of that type of fucking industry.
Yeah, totally,
Like,
man.
It really is. It's
Whiskey,
like,
snorting.
If you want to get into that and fucking like, I'm going to make a hit song and I'm going to take off and it's going to change the world and I'm going to be fucking awesome.
You go to that.
You go to them. They'll take a singer songwriter with an acoustic.
You go to that.
Nobody else can.
You go to Nashville and you go to that one studio that every hit is recorded out
Yeah.
of. Because like I've heard that's how it works.
C
on
C C G G G G G D G D G C C G. Dimming around and running my truck in the back of the bog with the pickup down, and I'm gonna have a couple beers with the Daisy Dukes around her legs tonight. Woo woo! A couple of beers and a couple of boys gonna get it on tight, gonna make some noise. Cause we all getting on down tonight. So come on, everybody. Yeah, it's fucking, it writes itself, man.
Fucking A. Well, Jason Clare, we got to do part 2 on this.
Dude, part
Can we
twos?
please
Oh,
part
we
2
can do
this?
Part twos, man.
So, what Belvedere song are we going to play? Do you want us to play?
Do you want to answer Steely Dan toured 4 times in the 70s?
Okay, Steely Tour. Yeah, all right.
And
There
then
you go.
not again in the
Nancy,
70s.
yeah,
And
that's
then not
Four
again
times
in the
more times than
70s.
I toured in the 70s.
See, this is
I'm just
why
saying.
Nancy's my producer, because she just calls me on all the bullshit, which is like everything I say. So it's perfect.
No.
Well, it's close.
Do you want? Are
Doesn't
you
matter.
plugged in right now, or do you want me to plug in? I mean, I got it loaded up here. If you
Yeah,
want to.
we're gonna plug in. So, hey man, check out Belvedere if you're in South America.
Yeah, if you're in South America, we're gonna be inside of you.
Check out Clitty litter on any given Rock for Dollars?
Rockin' for dollars.
Yeah.
Go online.
Every
all that
Wednesday at the
shit?
night.
You know,
out.
and if the American government who likes to flag my passport wants to use any of my music to fucking, like torture terrorists,
Yeah.
I literally have created a band for you.
Yeah.
Its name is Clitty Litter. Please stop flagging my passport.
Oh
You
my
can
God.
have every Clitty Litter song.
We're going to win the war now.
Clitty Litter will save the world.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Distraction from the ordinary. Descriptions on to come by. Living outside the institution. If you want the situation, how in any other way? I can't recall a better time. Days felt like the next would never come. I realized I couldn't get enough. Alternatives all found my death. I wish I could safely say all the right decisions were always made. Yeah, we were young and we're still here. Happy to serve for another year. It seems so right for one to assume that what we are is what we see, what we buy, who we do. I would have ended up that way if not for those miles, those endless days. I know it's not for everyone. Empty halls, empty stomachs, empty hopes. In retrospect, we had it all. We didn't choose this life. This life chose us long ago. A web of friends and moments, impossible to let go. Though we surrendered what others want to treasure, we ended up with so much more. Didn't choose this life. This life chose us long ago. A web of friends and moments, impossible to let go. Though we surrendered what others want to treasure, we ended up with so much more. Get the fuck off of